Leslie and I have known each other since early childhood. We grew up on the same country road in Mississippi.
I think why we're good for the community of Mississippi is because we're a product of this community. We are just two country guys, and we were embedded with what I call the diamonds of good character.
Come, join the family, and help us build the community.
Charles.
What's up, brother?
What's up, man?
7 days from the election. Next Tuesday this time, it's going to be the end of voting.
It will be the end. And boy, look, a lot happened yesterday. So let's just get right into it. I got my notepad. I know your students have been busy. There's a lot going on. Mm-hmm. But let's just get right into the dynamics of yesterday. So first of all, as I wake up this morning, I wake up to a new Justice Barrett, as we have. And from what I have researched is that this was the fastest process of nomination and actual confirmation in the history with this particular nomination and confirmation of Justice Barrett.
What would you like?
Is that true?
What would you like for me to say to that?
Well,
I'm not impressed by the process. I'm not impressed by her. So, what else?
Well, now, speaking of that, let me just speak of that. So, when I looked at, here's where I'm going with this. So, I don't know. I'm not in the business every day of selecting justices or qualifying justices. But I do know.
Listen to me, Liz. Listen to me.
Okay, come on with it.
We're in the middle of a pandemic, and people need food. They need shelter. They need clothing. They need contact tracing. Businesses are going out of business at an alarming rate. You got time to fool around with jamming somebody through to the Supreme Court, but you don't have time to take care of the American people. So we'll see on November 3rd how that play out. Because the other thing about that process is, as soon as they voted on her, the Senate went in recess to November 9th. So that tell you what they think about the American people. So miss me, we're talking about Associate Justice Barrett.
And that's what I wanted you to bring up, was that fact right there. And so I set you up for that because I knew that would send you right where I wanted you to go.
Yeah, don't play with me today. Look, don't even play with me. People hurting out there, and they up there playing, make a commercial. And then the other thing about that is, the Supreme Court is supposed to be impartial. Okay?
That's true.
They shot a campaign video with her on the balcony with the president. So where's the impartiality? And an hour before she was voted in, you have this decision where they deny people extended rights to get their mail ballot in after they jack up the mail service. So basically, you go and sabotage the mail, and then you tell people they can't have benefit of the mail. Come on, man.
But see, you highlighted something that I want to make sure the American people know, and I want to make sure, and we're just pointing out the facts here. You stated that as soon as they got that confirmed of the justice, they went on recess to what date?
November 9th. Okay. The Senate is going out of town. They're going out of town.
When you go in recess, that means you shut down the doors to the building is closed, ain't nothing happening, right?
That's right. It's gone. It's a wrap until November 9th. So all that talk about Nancy Pelosi trying to negotiate with Steve Mnuchin on behalf of the president, Mitch McConnell, as Nancy Pelosi so aptly said, hey, McConnell is blocking this deal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, and here's the reality. And I'm breaking this down because we're still in a pandemic, and yet y'all been negotiating for months to try to get a stimulus package to help people that are hurting, the second stimulus package, but y'all can't get that done, but yet we can get a whole nomination process in 1 month. But we can't get the stimulus package taken care of in what's it been, 6 months?
It was passed in March. It chaps my hide. They did her whole process in 1 month.
So here's my question. When did one person become more valuable than hundreds of millions of people?
There you go. That's my point right there.
That's really what we're talking about. We're talking about one person versus hundreds of millions of people. And I'm not saying, and this has nothing to do with the confirmation, but I'm saying that process could have still happened the way it was supposed to happen. But the hypocrisy of it is that a couple years ago, under President Obama, you guys voted and said that we can't do this, let the people decide. So
that's what they said. But ironically, you know what? The people are deciding. It'll be 70 million votes cast by the close of business today. 100,000 votes have already been cast in Harris County, Texas today. So let's do it. I mean, hey, you want to play monkey balls with the people's house? You want to play monkey balls in your seat and say, I'm gonna do what I want to do? Okay, then. Because ultimately, it don't matter about voter suppression. It don't matter about going to court. It don't matter about none of that. If you vote your piece, then you win. Because see, the only way they can suppress you is they want voter apathy. They want to make it so hard to vote that you just say, oh, I'm not going to do it. No, player. It's 2020. And as rough as 2020 being, I say the best revenge is to go down there and vote.
Cast your vote. 7 days out, cast your vote. Don't wait for day 6. Cast now.
Yeah.
I think they open to 6, 8 o'clock in some places. Get out there and vote.
Just depending on where you are. And the other reason why we wanted to do the show today is because of the mail service. Because of this ruling and because we know they're going to be playing monkey balls in court, which Justice Kavanaugh wrote that opinion last night.
Yes, he did.
And he cited to Bush v. Gore. So he basically gave up the game. Yep. Okay, we got to get them to where it's close, and then we can take it. No, player. No, that's not happening. Because the Bible says when 2 or 3 are gathered together. Okay, then. So let's go ahead and gather up those votes. Go on down there. Like Michelle Obama said, get your brown bag, get your water, get your chair, get your umbrella, get your sunscreen, get your little music, charge your phone, go vote. Because, see, they playing games now.
We got some good questions. Charles, you can answer that one because people need to know. So is it absentee or can we vote early in Mississippi?
Don't be fooled by terminology. Mississippi is an absentee state, meaning that you have to have one of 4 reasons that you can vote. First is you're over 65. Second is you're in the military, you're going to be on military service. Third is you're going to be working on the day of the election. Fourth is you're going to be out of your county on the day of the election. If you qualify in one of those 4 categories, you can vote. And there has been record voting in Mississippi under absentee. Early voting technically means that you can have a period of time where people can vote with no reason, no nothing. You just have the polls open.
And just to clear that up and give you an example, that's what Texas has. So that's what I. Yeah. You know what? Wait a minute. I intended on. Where is my? I intended. There we go. Because I intended on. Let me. There we go. So, in Texas, you can go to any poll and vote.
Inside your county.
Early voting period. And I think the last day is the 30th or the 31st. So
30th. Inside your county.
Yep, inside your county.
Yeah, every state is different. Leslie, if you would put up, let me see here what I wanted you to put up while we talking about it. Well, we already talked about Kavanaugh. My problem with Kavanaugh is this: they playing monkey business. They trying to signal to each other. Okay, he cites Bush v. Gore. Everybody know that's where they stole the election from Al Gore on behalf of George W. Okay, fine. You want to cite to that case? You want to come up with all this rationale that matches up with the tweets of the president? Fine. The people have the last say so. Having practiced law for 21 years, I think is very crass, and I think you're gonna try to circumvent the will of the people, all because you want to be able to pick and choose the winners. That's not how it works here, bud. In America, everybody got to vote. So exercise your franchise and go vote. Because what they saying is they now that they have their majority on the court, we're gonna force everybody to live by what we want, and that is originalist view where black and brown people don't really matter. They can be policed in any way, anyhow. Healthcare doesn't matter because that's not in the Constitution. But it's funny that machine guns not in the Constitution, assault rifles not in the Constitution.
Well, we should protect that right, though.
Right? So your healthcare is okay. A woman's right to have control over her body is not in there, so that's gone. If somebody's in a same-sex marriage, those rights and privileges may be gone.
Which is, and for those of you that don't follow, let's clear up the terminology. You hear them talking a lot about in the press, Roe versus Wade. That's what that's talking about when they talk about Roe versus Wade, which is a woman having the ability to make her own determination decisions regarding her body. Look, they have been very clear, and I think it's time for America to be very clear. If you can't put my interests, then I can't put your interest above mine. And that's just the reality. So now is the chance. How do you do that? You vote.
You vote, and you vote in a loud and angry manner, meaning that it's so many numbers that whatever they was trying to take is just like a football game. When you put a 50 piece on the scoreboard, guess what happened? Everybody walk on off like, well, we'll get them next time. You know what I'm saying? So that's what needs to happen here. So if you would, somebody had asked me the question about felons voting rights in Mississippi. Yes. So if you'll put that up, there are 21 different crimes that can cause you, if you've been convicted of one of them, you can't vote. So you need to look at what you've been convicted of and see where you are, because Mississippi votes on Tuesday, and so you may be unknowingly taking yourself out of the loop. You see that list I sent you, Liz?
Yeah, I got it.
So if you would put that up so we can put that out there for the people. Arson, bigamy, bribery, armed robbery, carjacking, extortion, embezzlement, bad check writing, felony shoplifting, larceny, forgery, obtaining goods of money under false pretense, murder, receiving stolen merchandise, statutory rape, theft, robbery, timber, larceny, and there's one last one, stealing a vehicle. So those are the crimes as of now in Mississippi that cause you to lose your right to vote. If you were convicted of something else, look at that list. Liz, if you'll put that in there where they can get it, let's put it up there where they can get it. Then you probably can vote. You probably just ain't never voted. They're not gonna tell you that you can vote. And if you had never registered, then you got to wait until the next election. Okay, today is the last day for absentee voting in Mississippi, is what Sheree is communicating to you. So if you don't vote, well, you only got like 15 minutes. So you got to vote Tuesday.
You know, I think it's important when you look at that list. Go through that list and make sure that you're out. Don't assume that you can't vote.
Right.
Don't assume. Go through that list and make sure. You know, we have got to give a resounding message.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the thing I would say. I have never in my life heard anybody say they should have won when it was a blowout.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
See, we can take all of that off the table.
That's right.
If it's a blowout, you just got your butt whooped.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, as my uncle used to tell me, he said, "Look, if you don't want you, she gonna let you know, real clear."
Right. So we need to let him know we don't want him because he's dangerous. He's so dangerous.
You know, and I think here's another point, and a doctor brought up this point. I can't remember if I was watching MSNBC or one of them last night. He said, "Here's the thing." He said he was upset. He was very upset about it. And here's what he said. He said, "If I was the supporters of Trump and at his rallies, I would have this question to ask: how is it that you can have a ceremony on the White House lawn immediately after confirmation where you have all these VIPs and you spread them out so far you need binoculars to see them, but yet you pack us shoulder to shoulder at these rallies with no mask and you have no regard to our health? What makes that better than me?"
Well, here's the thing. That question don't need to be asked. They want to be there, so let them be there. But here's the thing: when you do stuff like that, you pay a price. because now they're starting, just like we talked about the Sturgis motorcycle rally. They are starting to track those campaign rallies in their irresponsible manner. And guess what? In Minnesota, already they're showing signs that people that attended that rally, they now positive for COVID-19. That's how that works. So you take your happy ass out there, then you gonna come back with something. We've been saying it since the beginning. Be careful with Corona. Be careful with Corona. So they're not only okay. So he's at a point where he's had a total failure of leadership. And when I say he, I'm talking about Donald John Trump, the 45th president of the United States. He has a total abdication of his office because he's not taking care of the American people. There's almost 230,000 people dead, another 200,000 about to die by January, February because of his lack of understanding, lack of care. All he's concerned about is campaigning and looking good and whether or not he's on TV as opposed to them talking about COVID. Well, player, let me just tell you something. They're talking about COVID because citizens of the United States are dying and you're not doing your job. Nobody finna talk about you. What the lady say? You about to lose your job.
You're about to lose your job.
Right. University of Vanderbilt, or Vanderbilt University, however you say it, high dollar SEC school. They just came back with a study that says they were tracking mass usage in small towns versus non-mass usage. The towns that weren't using masks the way they were supposed to, they got high rates of hospitalization. Even the towns that didn't even, you remember we put that graphic up that said, believe in science, where you had the mask over your nose and had it on proper. They even tracked it in that way, saying that those towns where it was minimal mass usage, that lowered their rate of hospitalization, which means the spread is not that bad. We should have had a national strategy for dealing with the coronavirus. Instead, they tell us, they're telling you out loud, we're not planning to contain it. If you get sick, you're on your own.
Oh, well, look, that's what the chief of staff said last night.
Yeah. And then the other thing, Liz, I'm jumping around because, I'm highly excited at this point. I don't sleep that much. It's 7 days to the election. I don't sleep that much. The other thing that's bothering me is they keep talking about black men are going to vote for Donald Trump. Okay? You keep hearing that. First of all, let me just look directly in here and tell y'all, a lot of that is baloney and misinformation. They want it to be a self-fulfilling prophecy that if we say it enough, black men are going to vote for Donald Trump. Pump the brakes on that. Because they're telling you exactly what they think about you. Man went on Fox News yesterday morning and said, the platinum plan is what the black people need, but we can't president can't want them to be successful. They got to be.
Oh, no. Let's be clear about it. Let's be clear of who actually said that. It was Jared Kushner.
Jared Kushner. He was born 2 feet from home plate. Forget third base. He was born right by home plate.
And look, I'm not making this up. We're not making this up. It's out there in every news cycle. The man got on TV. In fact, somebody said he probably should have just not woken up yesterday because he had a bad day. He got on national TV and said exactly what you just said. He said the plan they need is so the plan. But President Trump can't make African Americans want to be successful. They have to want to do it themselves.
That's right. Put up that picture of the brothers because I want.
Yeah, I got it already queued up and ready because
I want this to be up there while we talking about this because
I figured that much.
Now, see, here's why I say a lot of this is misinformation. Because you're Alpha, I'm an Omega.
Yep.
We know plenty of Kappa. I even know Iota. I know a bunch of Sigma. They voting.
They are voting.
All over the land, they are voting.
And I said, afraid, hey, a voteless people is a hopeless people. So we voting.
That's right. So I said, that's why I say, stop listening to that. Now, okay, that's the college educated segment of black men. But guess what? We all go to the barbershop together. We all hang together. We all tail together, hunt together, fish together. We knew each other before we went to college. It's gonna always be a pocket. Guess what? During civil rights, you had black preachers that were against Martin Luther King Jr. That's not the minority. That's not the majority. That's not 20%. That's a couple people who got real messed up thought processes. If this wasn't a PG show, I'd tell you something because I'm tired of hearing all of this. Because it's all running together in my head, and I keep hearing, we are voting. He'll be lucky if he get 5%. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we speaking from this perspective as Greeks, but we also speaking from the perspective of a black man that was born and raised in Columbia, Mississippi, that know other black men that were born and raised in similar towns and villages and hamlets and big cities all across the United States. We all have the same issue. If we get stopped by the cops, it don't matter if we got $1 million or $4. You better have your hand on the steering wheel.
Period. Say that again, because I think that needs to be important. It doesn't matter. Not only does it matter if you got $1 million or $1, it doesn't matter if you got 5 degrees or none.
That's right.
It don't matter if you got on a suit or some holy drawers. It don't matter, because if you're a black man when you get stopped, it's a different kind of situation.
That's right. And it don't matter if you light skin smooth or dark skin smooth. It don't matter. None of that matters. We get treated differently. So we're not about to vote for the oppressor. So there, it's been said.
Here's my thing. I want to say this. I also know plenty of black men. Because those comments, and if you're a black man, I'm pretty sure all yesterday did was tick us off even more. So we're encouraging others to get out and vote. But how dare we know how hard we work and grind out here to tell me we don't want to be successful?
Right.
Are you kidding me?
We show up with everything against us, and we work our way out.
Period.
Well, ain't nobody complaining. Ain't nobody asking you for no handout. Somebody may need a hand up to get a little push. What's wrong with that? They do it all the time, but it's done quietly. So here's one thing that I want to point out. So in Iowa, there are a lot of corn farmers. There are a lot of grain and soybean farmers. The president is blatantly telling you on the White House website that he gave $28 billion to the farmers out in the Midwest. So if you can give $28 billion to the farmers in the Midwest, what's wrong with giving a hand up to a kid that need a Pell Grant? See, you're gonna tell me that's they need to get themselves together. They lazy. The farmer's not lazy.
Right.
It's all about semantics and who you want to give the money to, right?
Charles, look, let's just be honest. We're gonna talk about it. We just talk from experience. We can go right to the financial aspects of it. When you start, and I can speak for this, you can speak for this. As a black male going in business to get funding, it's a different reality.
A whole different reality.
All right, counterpart. It is. It is, and it doesn't matter. Listen, you can have a great credit score. You can have everything stacked up. They're gonna find a reason why, because they control what? The resources.
That's right.
So we always are walking 5 miles to get one.
That's right.
Some of you will catch that next week, but we're always walking 5 miles to get one.
Now we're gonna catch that today, player, because that is on the ballot. You want fairer policies that's gonna affect the black community? Choose wisely. If you sit at home, you made a choice, and I don't want to hear no crying next week.
Vote.
All
right. So look, and honestly, if we're doing an extra show, this is serious, because the reality is this is one of those elections. I know every election people always say this is probably the most important election. No. This is it.
Yeah, I mean,
if you look, let me just put up this that you sent me, Charles, because I like this one too.
Mm-hmm.
Let me put up this, because if you this I like numbers. I like numbers. This puts it real clear. I like numbers, and so $750 taxes paid to the USA.
Bruh, we paid that much in taxes when we were working at Winn-Dixie.
Yes, sir. As a part-time employee at 16 years old, I was paying more than that.
Right.
$188,561 in taxes paid to China. Now, I'm just saying, $750 to the U.S., $188,561 to China, $130,000 paid to Stormy Daniels, 545 children still not connected with their parents.
That's right. This basically torture. Those kids.
This number is outdated now because it's 226,000 and something plus dead now due to coronavirus. Over 8 million people infected by the coronavirus. 400 million in debt. Who does he owe? That's what I want to know. Golfing count 236 times. What's the cost of taxpayers? $141 million. 26 women have accused him of sexual assault. 8 million people forced into poverty amid the pandemic and the massive job losses and business closures. 61% of Trump Twitter followers are bots, spams, inactive propaganda. 72.9 million tax refund amount he is claiming in his battle with the IRS.
That's $73 million that he's trying to claim in a refund. But you pay $750 in taxes. Man, miss me with that. You see what I'm saying? Come on, Liz. Come on, man.
I'm just saying.
And that's just the raw number part of it. What about common decency? What about the truth? So you are supposed to be the oldest and dearest and brightest example of democracy in the free world. But your president is lying so much every day that the fact checkers say it's like standing in front of a water hose.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. It's bad. I have to say, man, I have never. This is. Look. I just didn't think you could lie that much. Honestly, here's the latest one. We're turning the corner. The coronavirus is going away. Man, where you been? The last 7 days, we've had the highest average of cases since the pandemic started. That means the last 7 days, there's been more cases than it was in March, April, May, June, July.
But look, though, you old enough to remember this. You old enough to remember this. See, Trump trying to punk us, man. So you remember when Richard Pryor used to say, "Who you gonna believe, me or your lying eyes?"
Yeah.
He is literally running that game right now. He telling his crowd that we rounding the corner. They can see the numbers, or maybe they can't because they all watching and listening to the same loop of information, and to their detriment, it could kill them. Those of us in the same world are like, really? Did he just say we rounding the corner and we at our highest point ever?
That's what he said.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's important to vote. I also think it's important to do some calling, do some shoot. If you got time, put your tennis shoes on, get out, knock on a couple doors, get some gloves and some PPE, and make sure everybody got a plan to vote because we got to run up the numbers. Because if yesterday was any indication, they saying all the stuff that they normally would say quietly, they saying it out loud. Because anytime that I see a concurrence and it's citing to Bush v. Gore and the election is still going on, then that's what they're getting ready to use to try to take it. But you can't take what is not yours. Now, if we sit around and we lazy like we were in 2016 and we don't vote and we don't make sure everybody around us vote, then yes, they have an opportunity to call a steal play.
Well, listen, here's what I say to that. Let's take back the White House. Let's take back the Senate. Let's keep the House. Let's take the governor's seat. Let's take the state house. Look, what's that song you said? I want it all.
Yeah, I want it all. And I want it now.
And I want it now.
So let's get out there and vote. put up the one that shows people. It's called Swing Left. It's a website. So I think it's important to not only just have a plan to vote. You need to help other people have a plan to vote. Now, for Friday's show, we'll talk about voter election protection. So who to call if there's a problem at the polls and that type of thing. So I had that information for you by Friday. But in the meantime, take a look at this website so that you can make some calls. Even if you can call in Mississippi, you can call in Texas, you can call in Georgia. We all know somebody in those 3 states or any other state that's on the swing state board. And I'm gonna show you what I've been harping on, and then we can get on out of here, Liz. I'm gonna show you what we've been harping on about Texas.
What is it called?
Let's see here. It is the last thing that I sent you. Don't just vote, volunteer. You see that?
Yep, got it.
Mm-hmm.
That one?
Yep, that's it. Whole bunch of groups working together, trying to row in the same boat. And if you don't want to do that one, there's plenty of stuff that you can do locally in Mississippi. I know it's stuff locally you can do in Texas if you're in Texas. I know the Collin County Democrats are looking for assistance. I know People Powered, Beto's organization is looking for people to help make phone calls. There are a host of organizations that are looking for assistance.
And we need it because, the reality is on the other side of the house, because the pandemic was not something they ever took serious, they never stopped going door to door. They've never stopped doing in-person business. They ain't never started wearing masks. So,
right.
So we, out of respect to the pandemic, a lot of these key areas, Democrats are just ramping up the ground game to be safe. And look, here we got some key races, Charles. We need to hit on in a couple of key states, and I think it's important. So I want to address the key races in Mississippi. I want to address some key ones in Texas, and then if you're in South Carolina, obviously you got a big one there. So let's talk about some of those as people head to the polls to make sure that we are well informed. Well, so let's start with Mississippi.
Well, it's like this. Mike Espy is on the ballot. So is the flag. So is medical marijuana. So is Latrice Westbrook. There's plenty of things that you could be voting for. Don't just sit on your hands and say he can't win, because he can win. Per capita, Mississippi has the largest black population in the entire United States at 40%. Let me say that one more time. Mississippi has the most black people per capita than anywhere else in the United States at 40%. Let's get them out. Let's vote. Everybody got cousins in the Delta. Everybody got cousins on the coast. Everybody got a cousin or a family member or a third, fourth play cousin that's in Hattiesburg, Jackson, Tylertown, Dexter, Liberty, all the way down to the corner down there.
Well, look, here's the reality, right?
Moss Point, Greenville, Greenwood, Indianola, Belzoni. Stand up, Belzoni.
So, Charles, let me just talk about this. So when we talk about the SB race, so that's for a Senate seat. This would be the first, if successful, the first black senator in the state of Mississippi since Reconstruction, correct?
Yeah, since 1867.
And for a lot of you know, that's before Jackson State was even created. Jackson State was founded in 1877. So that's how long? That's too long. That's too long. Now, when you did the series on the Reconstruction, and we talked about the power and what South Carolina did, and last time I checked, South Carolina don't have the racial population of African Americans that Mississippi does.
Close.
It's close, but Mississippi is still number one.
Yeah, Alabama's close, South Carolina's close, and Tennessee is close, but Mississippi is the big dog when it comes to that number.
So here's what I'm saying. So not even the big dog has shown us that this can be done. So South Carolina, and it's time for them to stand up again because they're getting another moment. But South Carolina, right after Reconstruction, we're doing Reconstruction. Out of 121 legislators, over 70
Yep,
black.
that's right.
So if you can do it,
right, that caused them to go back and almost fight another war.
But my point is, what's that song say? If we did it before, then we can do it again. Look,
That's right. That's right.
If we did it in the 1800s, surely we can do it in the 2020.
They didn't have social media either. They had to walk.
That's
they
right.
had to walk.
Social media, dude. They didn't have airplanes. They didn't have cars with engines before wheels. They had horses, man.
Yeah, they were walking.
Buggies.
No. They had a left pony and a right pony, and they walked or they ran because by and large our people didn't have the money or the resources to have a whole bunch of horses and buggies. You might have had somebody that had enough.
Oh, absolutely. So, family, look, get out. I can't stress how important this is. We can do this. And how close is that race?
Yeah, it's right around 1 or 2 points.
That's very close.
If we do our part and everybody vote and everybody gets somebody to vote, then that brings down the reliance on the white voters.
So the point where we're making is this. When people, sometimes it's a tendency for people to say, oh, well, my vote ain't gonna really make a difference. It's just one vote. When you have races that are this close, and first of all, it shouldn't be this close because this is the lady that said that he's running against. That said if there was a public hanging, not only would I be there, I'd be on the front row. So that's what we're running against. If that in itself doesn't get you up off your butt and at the polls waiting for them to open, I don't know where the more motivation you need or what more I can give you. The reality is somebody has insulted the very essence of who you are. So that's what he's running against. So it shouldn't even come to that. So when you have a race that's this close, and we're talking about 1 percentage point, 2 percentage point, Charles, help me narrow this home in terms of bringing it down to the ground level of how even one vote, how it does count and how it matters.
10 extra votes per street. That's what we're talking about. If you do that statewide, he wins. Just that simple.
It is.
Just that simple.
There it is.
If each one of us go find 10 extra votes per seat, everybody that's listening to this, then he wins. And I feel like we can find more than that. Now, you asked me about South Carolina. Jamie Harrison is still on the move. I feel like he's gonna win. I feel like Mike is gonna win too. I feel like Mike is gonna win because Mississippi is ready for a change. It's the new South. We talked about the migration patterns and population changes. Mississippi hadn't had as much of that, but we still got the goods as far as just it's a whole bunch of us here. And if we exercise our right to vote, and the good thing about his organization is they spent money on infrastructure, meaning that they can get out there vote. So it's there for the taking. They've reimagined how you do that. South Carolina, Jamie Harrison is rocking along. I feel like he's in a good position. For all our kinfolks and friends and allies, Alabama is troubling to me. Tommy Tuberville don't know nothing about what y'all need in as far as public policy is concerned. Now, if what y'all need is a first down in the SEC championship, he might be able to help you with that. But as far as public policy that's going to help your life, Doug Jones is a fighter. He needs help. So it's the same thing. If all the black people over there vote and get a coalition going with the young people, college-educated white people, Doug Jones can come back and win. So,
He needs your help. I mean, and look, this is not 1st and 10. This is 4th and goal.
Right, it's 4th and goal because healthcare is way bigger than a touchdown Because if you got a pre-existing condition, and we've talked about that ad nauseum, Liz, what that could be. It could be anything that the healthcare company, when they have the power back, they're going to ding you for anything. You can have musty toes. They'll find a way for that to be a pre-existing condition.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, look. Hey, look what they did with obesity, man.
Yeah.
We all know about that scale. They say based on this height, you're supposed to be this. But reality is, if you're that height, you're too big.
Right.
And then they say, well, your obesity, so you got a pre-existing condition based on this, and this. They listen, guys. You better wake up. It is time. We are right now. Let me tell you how crucial it is, because it's 4th and goal. Right now at 4th and goal, we right now about to have an argument at the Supreme Court.
November 10th. November 10th.
November 10th.
Soon as it's over with, they're gonna try to take your health care
and pre-existing conditions. It's right on November 10th.
Yeah.
Right there. Your insurance can disappear overnight on November 10th, based on what you do right now between now and November 3rd. Look,
let me read the tea leaves for you, Liz. Mitch McConnell stood on the Senate floor in the well of the Senate last night, and he said, "We have done good work here today." Look, he said everything that we've done is probably going to be undone in a couple weeks. He know what's coming. He know if we do what we're supposed to do and we vote like we're supposed to vote, all of them going to lose their seats. He knows this, but his final statement is so telling. He said they probably could change all their policy now, but they're going to have to deal with her for several decades.
Right.
So they knew what they were doing. They chose having the Supreme Court in their pocket and making it a political arm, weaponizing it over providing for the citizens of the United States. I got a problem with that, Liz.
I got a big problem with it.
So let's run down the list. We're going slow, but let's.
All right, let's go. We got in Texas. We got.
We're gonna do Texas last. We're gonna do Texas last now.
Okay. All right. Let's go up to
Louisiana. Adrian Perkins running for Senate. Y'all help him out. Mayor of Shreveport, graduate of West Point. He got something to say.
Let's go, Louisiana.
Let's go. Shreveport, Baton Rouge, Bow, New Orleans. Stand up. Y'all get in there.
Let's go.
Yeah. Tennessee. You got the first black female running for the Senate. Help her. Hold on, because my memory ain't what it used to be. Marquita Bradshaw. My bad. That's her name, Marquita Bradshaw. Single mother. I think she's 36, 46. She's not that old. She's a climate fighter, and she wasn't the preferred candidate. You don't hear about it because she wasn't a preferred candidate of the Democratic Senatorial Committee. She did it on her own. She went out there, like Michelle Obama said, with a brown bag and her ideas, and she made something out of nothing. And she is a couple steps away from making it to the United States Senate. Wouldn't it be beautiful to see somebody that's just regular get on in there, a fighter, progressive, good ideas. Got some sharp eyeglasses too now, Liz.
That's right.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Stand up. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go.
Look, Georgia.
Woo, Georgia.
Everybody remember Freaknik.
Ooh.
And I'm gonna tell you something. Those the migration patterns that you see with people coming back, especially black people, when they went to Freaknik, they lost their mind. Guess what? All the people live in Atlanta now. They all live in Atlanta now. So look, they can say what they want to say. I hear all these commentators saying, "Oh, Georgia is a traditionally red state." I'm telling y'all, and I've been telling y'all, and my class can tell you, look at the migration patterns.
Yep.
Atlanta, the city of Atlanta, is too expensive for most black people. So that causes black people to settle right around Atlanta so they can call back home and tell their grandmama that they stay in Atlanta.
So what you're saying, they staying in Gwinnett County, They stand in what's that? Lawrenceville. They
Yeah.
stand in Conyers. They stand in
Decatur.
They all over.
Yeah, all the way down. You keep on going. They down in
Jonesboro,
Riverdale. They down.
Hampton.
Yeah.
McDonald.
Right. So don't be fooled. Everybody that stay in the suburbs in Atlanta, when they call back home to Mississippi, they tell everybody they stay in Atlanta. You ain't gonna know unless you go and visit them. So what I'm telling you is, it's a whole lot more votes there to be gathered. And Stacey Abrams, shout out to Stacey Abrams. She did a great job, finally and forcefully. She lost, but they cheated. Everybody knows that. But when you take the L, you take the L. But she didn't quit. She registered 800,000 new voters. So let's go. Let's get it.
Let's go.
You got two Senate seats on the line. You need 4 to flip. You got 2 of them right there. Reverend Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff.
Yeah, and Warnock, keep in mind, that's he's the
pastor of Ebenezer
Baptist Church.
Yeah. They both were mentored by John Lewis. So let's make some good trouble. Come on, Georgia, let's stand up. Ossoff and Warnock were mentored by and endorsed by John Lewis prior to his passing. Both of them.
Period.
Yeah.
Period. Let's go.
Let's go. Joe Biden was down there today. We might not reach that far, but Iowa, I feel like Iowa is good for the taking. Maine is good for the taking. Kansas, believe it or not, Kansas, Dr. Bowler is running a heck of a race, and she might just pull it out in Kansas. Arizona, you got an astronaut. Everybody love astronauts. Y'all vote for that astronaut and get him on in there. If y'all got some cousins out there in Arizona, in Phoenix, Tucson, call them. Let's go.
Hey, Ashley in Tucson, let's go. Go vote. Let's go.
Let's go. I mean, it's go time. And then we get to Texas. Put up the map I sent you. I sent you a new map. I do this stuff just because you don't believe me when I tell you stuff. So now you will believe me. So go ahead and put that map up. It's the map of the United States. Go ahead and put it up because this is as of today. This fresh. I'm not messing with you. I'm showing you something that's fresh. Tell me what the gray means, Leslie.
It's a battleground state.
They moved it from lean Republican. Yeah, they moved it from lean Republican to toss-up. So Texas is now a jump ball.
Wow. Texas and Georgia and Florida.
And Arizona.
And Arizona.
And Iowa. And Ohio. OH.
Did you say Ohio?
Yes, sir. President Obama was in Florida. Joe was in Georgia. Senator Kamala Harris will be in Texas on Friday. Michael Bloomberg, $15 million. He getting ready to drop in Texas and Ohio. And anybody who knows Bloomberg knows it's not about the dollar figure. He got one of the most successful analytical operations when it comes to campaign district reading. It's a reason why he's dropping the money in Texas and Ohio, because he feels like he's looked at the numbers enough to see, just like I've been looking at the numbers. Now, I don't have a sophisticated unit. Me and my students look at them. We don't have that technology. I don't have his algorithm. If I had his algorithm, brother, we'd be rich. But I'm telling you, his algorithm is checking out with what I've been telling you the whole time.
I mean, look, in this. Wow. Let me just ask you a question, Charles, just from a scholarly perspective. Looking at this map, looking at the other side, I can clearly see our path. I can clearly see the Democratic path to 270.
You want to know what is the path the president has? What's his best chance?
Yes. So I know what we got to do.
Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Florida. He's got to win Pennsylvania, Ohio, Iowa. Florida. If he lose, so put it this way: Joe can lose. He can lose everything that's up there. That's up for the grabs right now,
Mm-hmm.
and win everything that's blue, and he's president.
Really?
Yes. So that's why there's so much attention on Pennsylvania, because the only chance he's got is to flip Pennsylvania back.
Which is what he did last election cycle.
Yeah, he flipped it back by less than a point. He flipped Michigan by less than a point. And he flipped Wisconsin by less than a point. And for all the Democrats that stand up at night, biting your fingernails off, wondering why Joe is in Georgia and Kamala's going to Texas and Obama's in Florida instead of being in the Midwest, y'all do realize that the country is bigger than just 6 states. It's a big, beautiful country out there. And most people out there think just like Leslie Peters does, there is no way you can win Texas because Texas is a red state. No.
Well, I'm coming around.
You don't win if you don't play. You got to actually go play. You got to go ask the people for their vote.
Well, here's what I think. I think when you look at COVID and people look around that dinner table, whether they're in Texas, Florida, Georgia, Arizona, North Carolina, Ohio, when they look around that dinner table and they're missing somebody, I think that's how you turn it. I think when you are in Arizona and you look across that dinner table at somebody that should be there, but they're not because we had no leadership. I get it. I get it now, because the reality is, and then when you sit, and this is a clear message to any African American, and I do have a problem with any African American that could support our current president, because when you make statements, and I saw this other day, and here this one gets me. When you make a statement and say, I'm the least racist person you could ever know.
No, he said in the room. He didn't say you could ever know. He said in the room.
I'm the least racist person in the room. I just want to send you a message, because maybe you didn't get this when you said it, but to even make that statement is an admission that you're racist.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't say you weren't racist. You say you the least racist.
Mm-hmm.
You still a racist.
And Leslie, forget him. I'm gonna tell you like I tell everybody else. Forget him. This ain't about him no more. This is about we, the people. In order to perfect a more perfect union, go vote.
This is a vote for humanity.
Right.
This truly is a vote for these United States, because here's the thing. You said it from the start of the pandemic. COVID has never discriminated from the day it started.
That's right. It don't care about no red state, blue state.
It don't care about red, blue, black, yellow, white. It don't care how much money you got. It don't care if you're famous or nobody know you. It don't care at all.
And he has failed. But Texas, Leslie, now I told you to watch Collin County, right?
You did.
I'm going to need you to watch Denton County too, player.
Nah, I can't buy you on that one.
I'm gonna need you to watch Denton County, man. I'm gonna need you to watch it.
Let me tell you why. Now, okay, so here's the debate, family, that Charles and I have. The reason why I say I can't go with you on Denton County. Now, you see Oklahoma. You see Oklahoma is red as red can be, right? Denton County borders Oklahoma,
and
so that.
Go look at this. Is what you're missing, Leslie. This is what you're missing.
Right.
4 years in Texas is like 12 years everywhere else because of migration patterns. Just like you got Oklahoma there, you got California, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado. People are moving to Texas for work.
Yeah, that's true.
And so the population has changed.
That's true.
So all I'm saying is Denton County may not turn red, but it's going to be like almost blue. I mean, it's going to be almost blue.
Stop messing with me. You messing with me.
Well, put it this way. You understand numbers. You understand numbers. So I'm telling you, there has been 141% increase in population in Denton County.
How much?
141%.
in Denton County.
Yes.
Oh, that's not red, partner.
Thank you. You understand numbers. You always think I'm trying to pull the wool over your eyes. All I'm telling you is watch that part of the state. You know Collin County. Watch Collin County.
I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna be watching too.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I tell you. If Denton County can even have the possibility going, everywhere can go. Look, we are, because this is a humanity election.
And they're scared. And they're scared, Leslie. They scared because the governor now say he's bringing the National Guard in for election day, trying to scare folks. What I'm telling you is, take your Bible with you if you have to. Don't let them take your vote.
Well, and here's what I say: if you're in Texas, don't wait. Go now.
Yeah, don't wait.
Go now. If you don't want to deal with the National Guard, go now. It's early voting is alive right now. Go now.
And early voting in Texas is open until October 30th. If you live in the Houston area, they got certain sites that'll be open on the 29th, 24 hours. No excuse. You go vote. If you live in Harris County, you can go vote 24 hours, whatever's convenient for you. And I see 100,000 people have already voted in Harris County today, Leslie.
Every vote counts. Every vote counts. We are in a fight for humanity.
All right.
We've got to make this vote, guys. This is the first time ever in my lifetime where I have witnessed the great divide from the top. It's one thing to think it, but to have it saying, I mean, we have. It's time. It's time. Time is over. I like MJ Hager's commercial here when she talks about John, the incumbent, and she said, "John, it's been a great career. He's been great, but it's time.
That's right.
It's over.
It's time to send him home. Time to send Lindsey Graham home in South Carolina. Time to send Cindy Highsmith home in Mississippi.
Yeah,
bunch of them got to go. Jonah Ernst and our bottom line is." Put the words up there. It's 4-letter word, VOTE. And then we can go and get out of here, Liz. We'll see him again Friday.
We'll see you Friday. But you got to look, people. There it is right there. I mean,
may the force be with you. Vote.
Vote.
Symbol of the rebellion. Right there, baby.
Get other people to vote. I can't stress it enough. I need you to vote. That's it. That's all we got to say. That's why it was so important. And you may see us again before Friday at the rate this is going.
Yeah, the way funny business is happening. Now, I want to reiterate, Liz, before we get out of here. If you know somebody in Wisconsin, tell them they need to go ahead and take their ballot to a drop box. Don't put it in the U.S. Postal Service.
Tell them why, Charles. Tell them why.
Because the court has ruled that if it get there after Election Day, after 8 p.m. on Election Day,
will not be counted.
It won't be counted. Philadelphia, they say the mail is running 7 days behind schedule. Get up, roll down there, call McMill. He'll give you a ride. Let's get it. North Carolina, they saying in the black areas of North Carolina around Charlotte, Mecklenburg, Raleigh-Durham, the mail is purposely running slow. Now, and if I'm not mistaken, in North Carolina, you can't do it on November 3rd. But if you go ahead and vote now, if you know somebody that's not registered, they can bring their ID and they can register and vote in one-stop shopping.
There it is. There you have it.
Won't be able to do that on Election Day next week, but you can do it through the end of early voting this week. And if you know some Democrats that live in states where they got ballots back and they hadn't sent them back, I'm looking at you, Florida. Go to the clerk's office, drop it in the drop box, and go on about your business. But you need to drop it off. Don't use the Postal Service.
Do not, or your vote won't count.
Right. Let's get this done. We'll be at 100 million votes cast by Friday. Mark it down.
Let's get it.
Let's go.
Let's get it. Don't stop. Let's get it.
That's right. Let's go. So I will see you all We will see. We open for business, but I wanted to get this out there. Leslie wanted to get it out there. We'll see y'all on Friday. If you need some legal stuff done between now and then, we are open. Call us 601-340-6800. Otherwise, don't just focus on you and your family, but you can stay safe and you can text message people in other states and encourage them to get their plan together to vote. All right?
All right. See you Friday, family, if not sooner.
That's right.
Leslie and I have known each other since early childhood. We grew up on the same country road in Mississippi.
I think why we're good for the community of Mississippi is because we're a product of this community. We are just two country guys, and we were embedded with what I call the diamonds of good character.
Come, join the family, and help us build the community.